though they might not want to admit as much. Chip Ganassi Racing continues to top the timing charts here at practice for the Indianapolis 500 and top the list of favorites for this month's race. My name is Nathan Brown, your motorsports insider with the Indianapolis Star, here to break down another day of practice for the greatest spectacle in racing. We just finished the 6-hour session here on Thursday afternoon from 12 until 6, the last day of 6-hour practice before we get into qualifying boost tomorrow for Fast Friday. And again, after yesterday, it was another Chip Ganassi Racing driver at the top of the timing charts. Yesterday, Takuma Sato was ahead of his teammates who were also up there pretty close, and today we saw defending 500 champion Marcus Ericsson at the top with a best lap of 229.607 miles an hour. He was followed closely by his teammate Scott Dixon in second, Takuma Sato in seventh, and Alex Palou in ninth. We had some other somewhat familiar faces up there near the top. Simon Pagenaud, your 2019 winner, in third for a strong day for a team really in need of a turnaround here in these next couple weeks. Will Power was in fourth fastest. He was actually in charge of the fastest no-toe lap for nearly the whole day until Marcus Ericsson came and stole that away with just a few minutes left in this session. As you may know, tomorrow we move on to boosts of nearly 100 more horsepower, where we'll see cars last year well above 230 miles an hour. For qualifying, we may see, as we did last year, cars get up to 234, like Scott Dixon did. So we'll see how that happens. Weather here really impacts how these days, whether it be Fast Friday or qualifying, go. We saw wind really impactful last year. Didn't often see a whole lot of running throughout the afternoon because cars, frankly, just weren't working very well. Drivers knew that that's not what they were going to be working with either in qualifying weekend or the race. And so you'll see guys, yes, they have that great boost. Yes, it's more comfortable to run in. But at the same time, if conditions aren't great, it's not super duper helpful to go out there and bang out a bunch of laps. Tomorrow, though, looks like pretty solid weather. Chance for some rain maybe in the afternoon, but we'll see how that goes. Before we got to running on track today, we had a chance to talk to a handful of drivers, one of those being Ryan Hunter-Reay, a longtime veteran of this sport and a winner of the 2014 Indy 500. Now, when we last saw him, Ryan was running with Andretti Autosport, his longtime team, back in 2021, and he took a year off in 2022, did some running in IMSA with Chip Ganassi Racing's sports car program, and is now back with Ryan Reinbold in an Indy 500 one-off program, teaming up with Stefan Wilson. Now, today we talked to Ryan, and he spoke about how refreshing that year off away from IndyCar racing, a year away from that full-time grind had been, and how great it had been to have a little bit of a change of pace with this smaller, maybe more closely focused team that's really only for several years been focused on the 500 in terms of its IndyCar program, and how great that's been for a guy who's over 40, who's been doing this for 15 years or more, to get a little bit of a different outlook and a little bit different approach to this month.
You know, that small team atmosphere, and there's a lot of really, really talented people there. You know, a lot of the guys there have been at some of the teams I've been working with in the past. They just don't want to do the full season IndyCar grind. And the benefit is this team gets to focus solely on the biggest race, you know, the one that really matters. So all in all, it's a great combination. You know, the people involved and the fact that we all get to focus on the 500. Indy's always it for me, you know. And it was actually nice last year to take the year off, get a little bit of perspective from the outside looking in. I'd been in the same organization for 12 years, you know, and you get kind of tunnel vision in a way. But it was nice to just step back and allowed myself to come back, you know, more energized and really focused. And this is the perfect program for that. I just have a lot more experience, and you know, I know that I know what it takes to win a 500. I've come close other times, right? We could talk about the could have been 2, the could have been 3 type of situation. I think I've had 3 cars here capable of absolutely winning, and it didn't pan out. And that's the 500. Everything has to go exactly right at the right time. and you have to come at it with with 100% aggression and make no mistakes.
We also got a chance to catch up with Ryan Hunter-Reay's former Andretti Autosport teammate Colton Herta, who this year, among other things, will have the first time he's run the 500 that he will not be able to become the race's youngest ever winner. He comes back here at a race where he's had some up and down performances. He's qualified really well a couple times, but struggled to produce that end of the day race result that he's really been looking for in terms of truly challenging for a race win. Now with several years of experience, Colton's starting to learn what he needs out of his car and how this track evolves over these couple weeks here. How, say for example, last year you could have one level of conditions in qualifying weekend. You get some rain, and then you come back in on carb day, and things are so very different. It's a sign of a young driver who's slowly becoming a well-experienced veteran of the sport.
There's a lot of evolution with the track throughout this next few weeks, so that's the biggest thing. Is you can be happy one day and come back the next day and 3 hours into the session, you're unhappy again. So the track is always evolving. You need to stay on top of that. And then also we'll probably get some rain in between the 500 to wash away all that rubber, and then we'll be back to square one, and probably a lot of people be unhappy again. Definitely know a lot more. Can expect a lot more. But it's such a tough race to win and know what's going to happen. So have a little bit more of an understanding for what I want out of the car and what feeling I want, which is always positive. And have good teammates that seem to be very happy with their cars and very fast, so that's also a good thing to bounce off of.
As we've seen, Wednesday and Thursday of this week, cars will begin rolling on track here at noon for another 6-hour session for Fast Friday. Again, we'll see cars dip well above that 230 mile an hour range, as we've seen cars already at 228, 229 in these first 2 days of practice. Will be exciting to see how high we get. I don't think temperatures should be too terribly bad early on in the day, though we could get a little bit humid. So maybe not quite the level of speeds that you could see on Saturday and Sunday, when things will be a little bit more mild in terms of what the forecasts are looking like right now. But still an exciting day to be out at the track, exciting to see what types of numbers some of these drivers can post. It's a day where you will see almost exclusively guys running just by themselves, where those no tow times that we talk about here in the media center and see on some of our monitors, those will start to really, really matter. And those will also start to very closely mirror the top times and top speeds that you'll see overall on the timing charts. Guys will look for windows where no one's out on the track. They'll pull out and try to do a 4-lap qualifying simulation to get a sense of how their car is operating in this new level of boost of horsepower, and maybe what they can either expect for Saturday of qualifying or what they need to work on to find a little bit better balance now that the car has undergone this change overnight. That's what to expect for tomorrow at the racetrack, what happened here today. Thanks for following along on this edition of Pit Pass Live. We'll have more stories, videos, photo galleries on IndyStar.com. Keep coming, checking back out our website in the morning and evening. We'll have everything you need to keep following along with the greatest spectacle in racing, including another episode of Pit Pass Live tomorrow night to recap Fast Friday. Thanks for watching. I'm Nathan Brown, the Motorsports Insider for the Indianapolis Star.